Welcome to the most overrated, underappreciated, most viewed, underviewed podcast of all time. Welcome to the Prince of Fresh Air. I'm, of course, your host, the beloved, the most charismatic man in entertainment. Beat that, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. It's been a while. I know everybody's been messing me. People been asking me, when's the next episode coming? A lot of changes have been happening. We'll get into it because I'm going to talk to my next guest, and you should know him by now. This is not his first rodeo, but just in case you don't know who I'm talking about, who is Steven? No need to fear. The most charismatic man is here to give you that info. Well, Steven is a two-time award-winning publicist, an accomplished radio host. He is the best-selling author of the book Guided Transformations, Poems, Quotes, and Inspiration, journalist, media personality. Name it, he's done it. This is the man, the myth, the legend, Steven Cuoco. Welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you. And you said my last name correct this time.
Don't watch the first episode. I botched it, right?
Oh, no, don't you dare. You got to watch it because it's perfect.
Steven, it's always a pleasure. I before we started recording, I just want to give you your flowers, right? Because we had an amazing conversation beforehand, and you gave me a lot of compliments. And for me, it's amazing, and it's a joy to have people like you on because you're accomplished. You've seen it all. You've done it all. And, you're still growing, I'm sure. But you've been in this industry for over 20 plus
30,
years. 30 plus years. I was trying to keep the age a little lower.
Don't rob me of my 10. No, I love it. I'm 51 years old, and I'm proud of it. Trust me.
Amen to that. That's beautiful. And, you've been doing this for a while. And people like you, it's for me, it's such an amazing thing to meet and interview because not only am I learning, but I get to, help you share your story to other people. So, Steven, how's life been? How's life been treating you in 2025?
Well, let me backpedal a little bit. A little bit.
A little Michael Phelps action.
A lot of Michael Phelps. Oh my God, if I only had his back. Oh, geez. But then again, making love to anyone that they can hold on to it all, but still I want his back. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta have a nice big back when you're making love, especially missionary style. You gotta have a nice big wide back.
I like that. That's cool.
I love that. No, I do. I love missionary style. I love the look of it too. Yeah. I used to love, when I was a kid, I used to love HBO back in the 70s and 80s because the lovemaking scenes were incredible. Now, yeah, you're going to ask, like, what is a 5, 6, 7-year-old watching like all of this stuff? But shit, when you grow up in a type of environment I did before the state of New Jersey took me away and put me in foster care, there was no censorship. I was 5 years old going on 25.
As a fellow adoptee, in the foster care system,
get it.
I know, I get it. It's, actually, that's a good place to start because I was going to go in a different direction. But like I said, when I have
go in all directions,
in the bedroom, go in any different direction. Anyway, Spotify. I'm sorry.
Talking about the Michael Phelps back. I mean, shit. Like every time we go on social media, seriously. We don't need a refined interview because you and I are going to be doing this more often than not.
Yeah.
But I'm going to honestly say to you, serious, I'm a huge supporter of the show. I am a huge supporter of this show. I'm not into the podcasting thing, but I'm telling you, I want you to believe in yourself. I want you to keep going. I told you before we went live, the visuals are perfect. The color is perfect. I want your hair to stay just like that, shaved up there on the sides. The length is gorgeous. I hope your mom is proud. But seriously, I don't know what's been going on since our last interview. I know you've taken a break. And I don't say this lightly, but you are made for interviewing. You are made for radio or TV. Whatever you got to do, you need to get more on the red carpet. I got to check and see. I don't even know if we're following each other on Instagram at all.
I follow you.
Are you?
You don't follow me back, Steven. You don't follow me back.
My phone's not by me, but when I do, I will. Seriously. I pay attention to social media when I feel like it and want to. Like when I love to look at social media 9 o'clock at night, when I'm done with the day, 8 or 9 o'clock at night, I go on my bed, I lay on top of my chinchilla blanket. And for all of you out there, don't huff and puff at me. I had to get a chinchilla blanket. I love my chinchilla blanket. And no, I didn't kill anybody for killing an animal. And I lay on my chinchilla blanket on my bed, and I just love scrolling through social media. Now, where am I going with this? Went from talking about Michael Phelps' back and missionary style, and now we're up
Foster
on
care.
foster care and everything. But we don't need a recap on the last time unless you want to a little bit, because this isn't, an Oprah Winfrey show. I think it's better. I think
Yeah.
it's
Oh yeah.
better. It's new and improved and better. But I want you to take the rest of this year. You already know what we talked about before we went live. I want you to take the rest of this year, and I really want you to ask yourself, do you want your show to emulate radio vibes or podcast vibes? Because podcast, most people treat it as a hobby and they do it whenever. You are different. And if you can get at least one person a week on, or to do something provided your schedule, do it, because you did great before.
Yeah.
But now you have got to come back stronger and bigger and more powerful. I mean, look at this. I mean, just look at the visuals. Just look how detailed you are. And it's you. There's something just about the energy of you and who you are in this show that I will, first and foremost, you are at the top of my list. Anytime you want me on, anything that I can do to help you out, I will do it, because I support you and I believe in you.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, you're right. And that's actually one of the reasons why I reached out to you, because I did take a little hiatus, and it, for me, it was the hiatus of it was a time where, a lot of things were changing, a lot of shakeups for me personally, especially in the acting side. And
Are
for
you
me,
sharing that with me on the show, or do we have to go private about that? Because you said you got a lot to catch me up on.
no, we could talk about it. We could address, because it goes to some of the things I want to ask you about, and I think, I obviously, like, we talked about, before we went live, there's certain things like you interview certain people, they won't address it. I'll address certain things. I'll leave certain details and names out just for the sake of, just being safe. But I'll go into it, because this goes into something I want to talk to you about: relationships and entertainment, right? And the first time we interviewed, we kind of went into that. And I remember I had this conversation with Dennis, probably guest on my show. For people who don't know, Bad Boys, he plays Reggie. Um, and this industry is all about building relationships. And you could be the most talented person, you could be the best actress, the best podcaster, the best radio host. But if you don't build those type of relationships, it's going to be hard to kind of always move up and move forward in your career. So something happened to me in April. So, my last episode, which I put out a couple weeks ago, around this time, me and my former manager had a falling out.
Okay.
And, I got one of my acting buddies, I got him signed with her. And I was with her for 2.5, almost 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the issue was, for me, I don't want to be stagnant. I have Jake on, one of your clients, amazing guy. He's doing amazing things. I've had you on. I had Dennis on. I had a lot of people who
Alan
are doing this.
Klingbeil.
I ain't clean about, yeah, exactly. Well, he owes me an interview. Tell you, make sure you let
Does
him know.
he?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wait a minute. I thought he did the interview.
No. Mister Allen owes me a second one. It's all fun. It's all fun.
Oh,
It's not a bad thing. It's all fun. But because
okay.
he had some technical issues, and he put the most charismatic man behind. But you know what? He owes me a second interview. Just let him know to send me, or he could pay me
I like it.
$5,000. Whatever works. Whatever works.
About both?
I'll take it.
I'm
You
writing
see,
it down. How about both?
yeah. How about, exactly, especially with these tariffs? But to go back though, let's get, because I think this is a great talking point, especially for you who have clients who are actors who are up there. So we had she ended up dropping me, and part of the reason was, I'm always appreciative of people who work hard on my behalf, and she got me some incredible opportunities. If I told you the amount of TV shows and movies she submitted me for, amazing. I have nothing bad against her, but for me, it's like I don't want to be stagnant. And part of the issue for me was I already had agents and stuff that I just felt like, and a lot of them were nice. We have a great personal relationship. It's just business. The entertainment industry is a business first. So for me, it's like, I mutually agree with one agent, like, hey, I'm not in LA anymore. The opportunities just where I'm at in my career is just, I don't think it's beneficial for me to just waste a spot on your roster. You can find somebody else right now. We mutually agreed and we parted ways, and I still keep in touch with him. And I decided to go about finding new, representation. Now, not manager, just agents. And when I let her know, like, hey, I signed up with this one and this one, it caused a big issue. And I didn't think it was going to result in me being dropped. But I look back and it's like, okay, on one hand, maybe I could have done some things better. But ultimately, I think for me, I told her my goal and I told her why I did it. And it's because I'm looking for something that if I feel like I'm not getting, I can't just be sitting around on my thumbs waiting. Like I said, you have people like Jake doing movies with Zendaya. I know that's what I can do. And if I feel like I'm not getting pushed in that direction at all, then why am I going to waste my youth, just sitting around waiting? And, she ended up dropping me. And I have nothing bad to say about her, but I just feel like if you take control of your destiny and your career, it shouldn't be in a point where you feel like I double cross you just because I'm looking out for myself. Just like an agent is looking out for their business. If you're not doing auditions right, you're always late. You're not paying them. They're going to drop you. And so I want to ask you, because this goes into one of the points I want to talk to you about. Relationships is very important. But how important is, for whether you're actor, a publicist, how important is it to separate business from personal relationships? Because yes, you can be friends with your clients or other people in the industry, but business is business first. You got a mortgage, you got car payments, you got children at home. How do you go about balancing the personal with the business side?
I what I want to know is, did the manager drop you because you did not give this person notice? I mean, were you exclusive with this agency or non-exclusive?
No,
Because you,
non-exclusive.
so then there's people that have several agents: talent agent,
Exactly.
theatrical agent, commercial agent, voiceover agent.
And it goes, and this is why I said how you separate personal, because I feel like you said, she works so hard on my behalf. But for me, a manager is a manager, agent is an agent. I had an agent before I had the manager. And in this industry, like you said, it's custom for people to have multiple people in their corner. And it's not like I went behind her back, looked at another manager, said, hey, I'm going over here, I'm leaving you out. I didn't do that. I went to the agent side and I switched that up. And I let her know, like, hey, I'm looking to be SAG after eligible. That's what I'm trying to go, because I know a lot of people who are SAG and they have a lot more trouble than me, because I put in the work. I've put in a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of money being on set, not getting paid for my work, that now I'm ready for those bigger opportunities. And I think she just took it personal because she felt like I was one of her best clients. And for me to go and make those type of moves, she felt like there was no trust there. But the way how I looked at it is, it's not about trust. Like my new manager, we've talked about this, where it's like, look, just let me know. I get paid regardless. So if you book a gig with this agent, I'm going to get paid. And that's how I looked at it. It's a business first. It's not personal. And you know, I I still don't understand why she ended up dropping, but I do think like my actor friend that I got with that manager, I think is just some people take it personal when you do certain things. And I don't want it to be that way. And that's why I wanted to ask you, how do you separate it? Because I'm sure your friends or have some type of personal relationship with other people in the industry or clients. But how do you separate that personal from business? Because, like I said, business is business first.
Yeah, I mean, you're asking me this, but my intuition's telling me that there's a lot more to it. And of course, there's a lot more to it because I believe that I don't know everything from her perspective
Yeah.
as to how she feels. But ultimately, to look at the facts is if you were under a non exclusive contract, depending on whether the term, if there was a term for that contract, it exhausted itself. Like if you signed a year ago, or if it was for 6 months or 3 months. Sometimes I know someone who just signed a contract with talent, and it's a 60-day trial period.
Yeah.
And they have goals and expectations of what they're looking to meet in 30 and then the 60. Then to figure out within those metrics of the 30 and 60 if it's going to turn into a year.
Right.
I get your point. I feel that you already have the answer. You already said it. I wouldn't browbeat it at all. But ultimately, to take what you had said, Percy, is that, she put all this time and this effort and all this stuff into it. Yeah, I mean, someone can take it personal, and someone can feel like maybe, like I'm assuming, maybe she felt that the action of you taking to add in somebody else is, maybe she assumed, she saw it as, oh, she didn't do a good enough job, or did she feel that your action made her feel like she wasn't enough? I mean, we could go down many variables.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't feel it's important to try to figure it out, because it's your truth, it's your experience. But ultimately, I support everyone to do what's in the best interest for them. If you want to go. I don't give a shit. That's how I feel. Yeah, I want to work with people. I want to work with the best. I want to help people. But this isn't a prison. If someone wants to leave, someone wants to leave. In my opinion, if you want to go, because someone else will fill your spot. Someone
Amen.
else will always fill your spot. So if she really believed enough in you and believed enough in herself and felt that she could do more and get you more results, great. I'm the type of person to where I hold talent responsible all the time. Be on those socials. We need assets. We need dialogue. We need context, meaning we need videos. We need photos. We need Instagram lives. We need your ass on TikTok. You're a young person of age. I mean, people are on TikTok. I mean, no matter, you and I were talking about this earlier. I was touching on this. No matter what my settings are on TikTok and Instagram, these motherfuckers love pushing half-naked men, these so-called straight men. And listen, it used to piss me off. Now I find it just ridiculous, but ridiculous to the point to where that, and I don't care if I'm going off on this, but I'm answering your point is, most people, representatives, want the Ariana Grandes and a Nick Jonas and a Matthew McConaughey's and a Jennifer Lopez and whoever else, because it's easy, quick, fast money. They don't have to work hard to get media coverage. They don't have to work hard to get contracts. All the hard work is done. So when we look at someone like you, we got to look at the fact that you're not considered A-list. You're not in that world of a Nick Jonas or a Tom Holland. But that's not your fault. Who knows? It doesn't matter if you end up side by side co-starring with Tom Holland, whoever. Just focus on you, Percy, of what works for you. And that's it. And sometimes, and I can speak for this, there are times that I can take a client only so far. And there's times to where I can't. There's times where I'm better off mentoring someone than trying to get them work. I've worked with the best of the best. And trust me, whether it's sponsorships or ambassadorships or whatever it is, I've got Dylan Lobby on my roster, as you know, from the Las Vegas Raiders. I got him a sensational contract. Love anybody to try to top it. But it's about relationships.
Yeah.
And so you could always do best to top something, but I mean, you have to believe, like when I believe in someone, I go all out to the table. If you are not an A-lister, I'm still going to treat you like you're an A-lister. I'm still going to feel like if you're a rookie and you've only been playing football for a year, a couple years, I'm going to treat you as though you are been on that team for 10 years. Okay.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is that most people like to hire stupid. They like to hire people that are if this that prostitute oneself. They don't understand talent. And I would say it's not your fault. And I close by saying I wouldn't say it's your manager's fault or anybody's fault. We live in a world where people want a free, easy ride, Percy, after you've done all the hard work, after your team has done all the hard work, and all they need to do is come in and they just want to collect residuals. They want to
Yeah.
collect free money off of a music artist's merch,
Yeah.
whatever it is it may be. It's all about real estate. And now it's all about OnlyFans. And I'm not knocking it. Where
Right.
we are at right now in this world, I'm not knocking it. Degrees don't mean anything. I just spoke to a couple of people who graduated from Harvard, Yale, and Penn State. There was someone who told me he went and submitted to about 150 jobs and has a degree and can't get a job. No wonder why you got these straight guys acting gay online, bobbing around their dicks all over the place, flexing all over the place, thinking, oh, the women are the ones. No, it's the men. And we all know what you're trying to do. You're trying to slurp it up with the men to try to get your gay welfare checks. I always say, if you're not in boxing or MMA or wrestling, well, I should not be seeing your ass half naked, flexing and bobbing your cock all around. But TikTok and Instagram love pushing these gay wannabe straight men all the time on social media. And then there's people like you and me who we have real talent, busting our butt, wanting to get real jobs, real sponsorships, and real work. And all you see is just people just online.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
I don't give a shit if that was a fucking tangent either, because I'm fed up with the shit.
You know what? I 100% agree with you. If you see my Discover page, you'll be shocked. And like this is actually, it's funny you brought up social media because to move away from the Dr. Phil segment. A lot of people. Let me run this back to you through the entertainment side, because there's been a huge conversation with actors, right? Talking about social media, where you go on like casting networks. You can have your social media on your profile so they can see your follower account. They can see what you're doing. You got a lot of agents and managers. They want to see your social media presence. And for a lot of people, they may only have fans and friends, family and friends on their social media. They have like 200, 300, 400 followers, and they're working. But then, have someone like me who has over 15,000, I'm interviewing people like you. I'm doing a lot of stuff. So I look more appealing. They could be right for the job, but because this production company is like, hey, Jake, he has a lot of followers. I think he'd be great to this production because he can promote. He can help us bring in ticket sales. He can help us do promote and all that good stuff. What do you think of social media now, especially with AI and the rise of the new SAG-AFTRA contracts and stuff? Do you think we're going to get to the point where being a great actor like a Denzel isn't enough? You're going to have to bring followers. And, one quick point before I let you go. I watched Bad Boys for Life. Finally, Dennis, if you hear this, I'm sorry. I finally got to watching it. And they have TikTok stars, social media stars in roles that could just be for other actors. But we're seeing the Cabby Lanes, who, no disrespect to him at all. I mean, he's done and carved out something for himself. But some people look at that as like, that could have been for an actor. That could have been someone who went to Juilliard or been studying an acting class. That could have been for me. Why did he get it? So what do you think about this whole paradigm going on with social media and the entertainment industry?
Well, I believe I covered it.
Yeah, that's true.
You want me to?
Well, we talked about it, but I think now it's becoming increasingly more because when we talked about it, it was kind of like one of those. So it was like, it shows up once in a while. It's not a big deal. Now every project I get submitted for and audition for, they want the social media,
Well,
and
of course.
you
And
know,
here's the thing, I'm going to, if you don't mind me interjecting, is I enjoy social media. Look at where we are. Your show is where it is because of it. My radio show is where it is because of it. I'm not knocking anything. What is deplorable, deplorable is that social media, when we think about it, is made to help improve people's careers, their reach. Instagram is the new IMDb. TikTok is the SoundCloud for music artists. There's a lot of positive out there. What I will say is I don't have an issue with porn. I don't. My family are European. Both of my families, my biological family and my family who adopted me, are both Europeans. Like I said, I was 5, 6, 7 years old watching freaking HBO content from left. I didn't grow up in environments to where it was like, oh, no, I'm a true believer in God. People fail to realize, those that love to preach, God is in everything.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't meant to exist, I always say God wouldn't allow it to exist. And don't give me all the others. But ultimately, I don't like the fact where the Achilles heel is at is we should not have to pay for boost on Instagram so that our followers can see our content. We're following each other for a reason. Why am I not seeing your stuff?
Mm-hmm.
And then why does it need to take a collaboration or a tag in order to hopefully see it, when that is all a scam anyway? And I'm calling it out because no one's going to prove me wrong. The collaboration is Instagram and TikTok. When more specifically, let me just speak on Instagram, which is one of my favorite platforms, but I also have thoughts on that. Is the collaborations are only there to see where and who they can push advertising to. And it doesn't always work. I don't like collaborations because I feel that anytime I've done collaborations, it's hindered my content, not helped it at all. I appreciate it. I don't mind using it, but I strongly recommend, and by reliable people on the inside, that doing tags and doing hashtags and doing collaborations constantly is not in your best interest. Because ultimately, if people are having hundreds of thousands or millions of views and likes, they're paying a marketing company. Nobody organically can get I saw someone have 7.7 million views who used a modeling photo for a reel and got 7.7. And I know for a fact from conversation that they use a marketing company. So all of this shit's inflated.
Yeah.
And it's all a scheme for people to pay out money, and they can call it whatever they want to call it. But we've got to look at the fact that you got to separate talent and someone who's like you, who's got talent and integrity and good intention, to just trash. And I don't care who gets pissed off about me saying this. When done correctly, because everything is an art. Everything is an art. As soon as you take off your clothes, you admire yourself in the mirror, you're there working out, doing your yoga, doing your Pilates. If you're admiring your own self, whether you are clothed or not, you can call it whatever you want. But if someone wants to do OnlyFans and they're doing it in an artistic way, do it. I have more respect for someone who does porn and calls themselves a porn star or a prostitute or a stripper. I don't give a shit who gets pissed or thinks that this is an unchristian thing to say. Trust me, unless you plan on being that person's sugar daddy or sugar mama, or you want to hand over your Trump checks, your Stormy Daniels checks, and just call them whatever you want, not hush money. You better call it something for the government. Call it consultation fee. Call it viewing fee. Okay. I rather support that to know what it is. Full disclosure, know what it is, than this garbage of kids who look underage, who are exploiting, prostituting oneself. Men online, I will constantly talk about it. These so-called straight guys who act gay friendly for their gay welfare checks, who have no idea what a person who is gay, what they go through. These men will never face hatred of someone wanting to castrate them. They will never be murdered. They will never probably have attempted murder on them. It's that serious. That's my generation. Okay. I'm going to put it on record. The hatred that came to me for being flamboyant or not as masculine when I was younger, when my stepdad took an unloaded gun and put it to my head and pulled the trigger and said, "This is what happens to people like you." I sat with myself, and I don't mean to go here, but this is where we really are at with social media, with media and everything in general, is that people are quick to judge Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, blah, 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 blah. But the thing of it is, I don't think anybody fucking understands anything anymore.
Yeah.
Because when I walked out of the house when I was younger, I was literally scared for my life. To this day, I'm 51 years old, and still somehow I get edgy. Not because I'm scared of getting murdered, not because I'm scared of something bad happening to me, but I don't trust the world enough. I don't trust the world enough to stay out there in the world long enough unless I'm working or doing something that gives me purpose, and then I want to go the fuck home because I'm done with dealing with crazy.
Yeah.
And I want to find people like you. I want to find people I can interview. I want to find people I can have a conversation with. And instead, people are hemming and hawing over the most dumbest shit. And you know what? If somebody wants to pop their tits out or send a private jerk-off video to someone and make $1,500, whatever it is, but they are being real about who they are and honest, then so be it. Then to watch these, once again, these so-called straight men who are gay friendly online, who never went through the hatred, the violence that people like me have gone through and still go through. And you're bobbing your fucking dick around in your gray pants and think that you're all masculine and flexing and everything else like that. I'm going to put this on record. You're a piece of shit. Because no one understands. That's where I'm at. I'm at a place in my life. I am at peace. I am at peace. And you know why I'm at peace? I'm at peace because I can finally speak how I feel. And as I was always told, it is not a sin to be angry. It's how you direct that anger. But why I made that reference of all of this is I wish I had my phone here to pick it up right now and show you. I am done. I get your frustration. So many of us. I am done staying silent by seeing things that I don't want to see. Online and offline. And I am not going to keep my mouth closed anymore. And I am absolutely fed up with people having an issue with porn, yet you're 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old son, even some of these husbands that are 40 years old are out there online flexing, semi-hard dicks, bouncing around in gray pants, doing all this fucking shit online, and they will never, ever touch the hatred and adversity of someone who is gay. in their life. But yet TikTok and Instagram loves to push this shit. It doesn't, once again, it doesn't matter. I hope one day I never have to talk about this.
Yeah.
And I love listening to myself when I talk about this and share this, because we touched a bit on this the last time. But that's the answer. That's your answer. That's why people like you and me have such a difficult time, because those who want to act Christian or a person of faith or act all prim and proper are the ones fucking buying it and pushing it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You're 100% right. 100% right. And I think that right there, what you touched on, is the hidden secret. Because I remember there was a time where I used to get so many likes, so many views without having to do much besides maybe a couple hashtags. Lately, over like the last year or two, I've noticed I'm looking at my analytics. I'm like, hey, why I'm getting more likes and stuff from non-followers than followers? And it dawned on me the other day. A girl reached out to me I went to college with, and I know she's been doing amazing stuff. And I'm like, let me look on her profile, see maybe it's been a while since she posted because I haven't seen anything. I'm like, she posted like 20 times in the last month, and I haven't seen not one of them. And like you said, it's because you're paying to play now. And I think that's the key about the social media part that you touched on. Is now, from when it first started, it was about organic stuff, meeting new people, doing all this stuff. Now it's a business. How many people got verification checks who haven't done nothing? And
you know how long it took me to get that? Over 10 years. Over 10 years, I have a proven track record, but it was never good enough. And people who did the most deplorable things have gotten check marks. People who were on reality TV and were called fuck boys got a blue check mark over being a fuck boy and being on a fuck show than anything else. Oh, please. Oh, you wait. I'm far from done. I am the most unconventional Christian person of faith, everything else. You wait until I decide to represent an OnlyFans model. It'll be a woman. But wait, I'm going to show the world how to represent an OnlyFans model. If that happens. Because I'll be the only one in my world that's done it, because you just don't do it. I have no idea what my allies are going to say about it, but I'm just putting it out there. Don't be surprised if someone finds out. Why not? I rather represent an OnlyFans woman who I can help, not prostitute, help to make a career out of something we already watch on regular TV and film anyway. I mean, wasn't there a movie that was an adaptation from a book that had the word gray in it? And just, we watch it every day. So I'm like, you know what? Between AI and technology, I have to think smart because I don't know where media is going to go. Look at what the fires did in LA. Yeah. I mean, everything is self-funding. I'm happy to self-fund. I'm assuming you still self-fund, but that doesn't mean that someone like us wouldn't take on a sponsor. But these people want a story. You want clickbait? I'm going to show you real fucking clickbait. I'm not going to be like some wannabe that is going to accidentally have a porn film leaked, bobbing around with another A-list star, and then all of a sudden I'm famous with no fucking talent. These people want clickbait. I'm going to show you clickbait. You want to see real talent? I'm going to show you real talent. And yes, I'm dropping it like it's hot and picking it up like it's on sale. I am strongly contemplating what it would be like to take the most perfect, untarnished, and when I mean untarnished, I mean someone who has not fucked 100 people, someone who's out there that doesn't have all these cum videos and all this craziness, someone that is somewhat seasoned but has not gone too far. That sweet spot. We see it every day on reality TV.
Oh yeah,
every day. So all I'm doing is I'm thinking of taking an OnlyFans established star, bringing in a reality TV film aspect, and finally bridging both worlds. It's never been done. Finally bridging both worlds. And I will feel more proud of that than someone who is a guy online who will never understand what it's like to have violence against them for being gay.
Right. Yeah.
And after I have my success story with a woman, then I'll go ahead and find a guy. But no, I'm being very serious. I'm not joking. It's something I wasn't too sure if I wanted to talk about it or not, but I am not worried about canceling. No one can cancel me. I've got over 30 years in this business. I've built my reputation. And one thing that no motherfucker will be able to do is anything that's got me involved in it will have integrity with it. Not everybody may agree with it, but I already work in an industry that has predators, pedophilers, and pimps. Good luck fucking arguing that. Once again, I already have been working in an industry that's got pedophiles, predators, and pimps that wear a suit. That are the good Christian when they're at home with their wives. I can tell you the stories of what I learned about OnlyFans. Because I did a deep dive research for the last 2 years contemplating. I wanted to know the ins and outs of this OnlyFans. I wanted to know the ins and outs of stuff. And let me tell you something. The messages that I've seen and witnessed. Now, keep in mind, I'm not here to be no fucking weekly leaks. I'm not here to call out anybody. But before anyone steps to me or tries to lecture, or even if you have a private conversation with yourself of thinking, oh my God, Stephen as a publicist should not have said that. Stephen as a journalist should not have said that. Yeah, I've seen the messages. I know what company you work for. I know that you're in a relationship with another man. I know that you've got a wife at home with children. Yeah.
I believe it. You know what? To touch on something you talked about earlier, I think
he knows what's going to happen once this interview comes out.
Stephen, it's been nice knowing you.
I don't care. Seriously, the 50s are the best. You reach 50 years old and you don't care. You care only about the important stuff. I'm not going to lie and say that please hold that thought. I'm not going to lie and say that I wasn't scared for over 20 years of wanting to do everything right, because I was a perfectionist. I'm not anymore. I do the right thing, but I'm not hard on myself to cause myself emotional mental harm anymore, to worry that much, to make mistakes, to cause myself stomach and gut rot and fucking shit and bile literally out of my ass because I was so stressed, because I had no appetite. So I had nothing to shit out but bile, and then had to take antacids. Was that way for over 20 years. I'm not doing it anymore because I can go to bed at night. And if I want to, and depending on where my career goes in this business anymore, I will always have my radio show because I own it. I own my radio station.
Right.
And I am a radiologist. So if it comes down to it, I can make really good fucking money being a radiologist and continue to pay and self-fund my station and my radio show for however long I choose to. And I know I will always be hired as a publicist because no one can do what I do. No one is at the level of what I am at when it comes to doing what's right for a person and client. And I don't care how that's taken, because I am not in it like most for the money. I've built my career spending no money in marketing or advertising, or never hired another PR agency. And I was hard on myself at times, Percy, thinking, my God, like you as an actor and everything, I'm thinking, she's, 51 years old. Life moves so fast. Yet, am I ever going to be at the level that I know I deserve? But what I know of where I not only won the battle, but won the war is I'm no longer envious and jealous and resentful to others who are in positions that I would like to be in, that I know I could do so much fucking better.
Yeah.
Who are making $20 million, millions of dollars, and have no justification for it. And I'm just at peace knowing that no matter what happens, anyone who hires me and that I work with will always know I will do what's right. Not for the money, not for the fame, not for the power, not for anything else. I will do what's right. And now I'm in a place to where I'm not scared of controversy. And I will take on clients that have controversy. Less, as long as it doesn't have to do with trafficking or children or breaking the federal law. I'll put it on record, and I said it all the time. I'll work with Armie Hammer. I told you that before. I will represent Armie Hammer. I talked to his mother. I'm supposed to be interviewing his mother on my show. Not to talk about Armie. I told her I do not want to talk about your son. But I told her I will represent your son. I said I reached out to his attorney 4 years ago, back in 2021, when his publicist dropped him. I thought, I'll represent him. He wasn't even proven guilty. No charges were even made. Like nothing came out of it. People will always have their opinion. And one thing you will be guaranteed is you can be the most squeakiest clean person that you think and believe of in the world. And if somebody wants to have a problem with you, they're going to have a problem, and they're going to make sure that they do everything to let everybody else know that they've got a problem with you. So why care about anything else? Just go out there. Don't harm yourself. Don't harm anyone else. Do your best. And that's it. So
Amen.
just like you need to fill me in on everything that's going on. This is what I'm sharing with you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put it on record. On record, I'm in talks with Skylar May's representatives. Fuck it. Okay. Here. You want to
breaking news? Let's do it.
Breaking news. Okay. So a good friend of mine here.